Hi guys, welcome back. This is Jason, Sin City Living, with today's video. And today I want to talk about some of the differences between the Strip and the local casino. And what I mean by local casinos, by the way, is basically just the off-Strip casinos. It doesn't necessarily mean they're quote-unquote local casinos, although very few locals go to the Strip. So generally most of the locals play off the Strip. So, you know, typically we're, and you know, even on the Strip might be what I would consider falling into the locals category. You know, when you're at the core part of the Strip, the South Strip and even Central Strip, pretty much in the core Strip, that's where you get a lot of the Strip casino rules and stuff like that. But you go far enough north or south, while it's still on the Strip, they tend to be break-in casinos. They have lower limits. They're much closer to the off-Strip casinos. Now, downtown, say Fremont Street, comes closer with a lot of their rules to Strip casinos versus off-Strip casinos. But when you're talking off-Strip, you know, you're talking all your various stations, Palace Station, Santa Fe Station, all that stuff, Red Rock. You're talking New Orleans, I mean, there's all these casinos off the Strip. Some of them are you know, huge resorts, just like you would find on the Strip with all the same amenities. So. Now, before I go into some of these reasons, some of these differences between them, why are there differences between them? Well, pretty simple. The Strip itself, they tend to have a very captive audience. Generally, people within that area, they're only going to walk around to 4 or 5 casinos. And oftentimes, those 4 or 5 casinos might be owned by the same company. So there's not, as odd as it may sound, with all those casinos out there, there's really not that much competition. Really not a whole lot of competition in the core part of the Strip, the big places. They draw people based on their name, based on some of their amenities, based on their limits. They draw higher limit players. So there's not quite so much competition versus the lower end, the tier 1, tier 2 casinos and the off-Strip places. They have a lot more competition. They're farther away, so people don't walk there from another casino. They have to, you know, people actually have to get in their cars and drive there. So they have to be sure, they have to find their ways to draw people to them, be it tourists or locals. So one of the big differences that you see on the Strip is right there in your hotbeds, and not just with the 2, 3, 11, and 12, but however those pay, that's how they pay their hotbeds as well, because that's all those are hotbeds. So, you know, 3-way 6s, you know, 2-way 5s, stuff like that, all pay the same. As you see on my layout, it says 32-1, which is the same as 31-4-1. A lot of places will say 31-4-1, but 32-1, which means that dollar gets paid $30. 31-4-1 would mean that you would get your $31, and we would take this down. That's what people get confused when they see the 31-4-1 and we pay them $30. So 31-4-1 and 16-4-1 on the low side, on things that are not pairs. But some places on the Strip won't say 32-1, they will say 34-1, which means that dollar actually gets 29 bucks. It's only a dollar difference, but that is adding a huge percentage to their house edge that they don't need. Right? They're just trying to squeeze a little bit more house edge in there. By the way, real quick, sorry for the interruption, but if any of you guys are fans of books and authors, check the link down below. We started a second channel. It's a family channel. It's our biggest passion, which is books. We talk about books, talk about authors. We just started. We'd really appreciate any shows of support, some subscribers, anything. Really appreciate it. But if not, no big deal. It's just a big passion of ours. Now another one, and this one actually does show up on my layout. Right here. Paying double on the 12. Get off the Strip. Very hard to find a place that pays double on 12. Most places are going to pay triple on the 12 because that is squeezing, again, just a little bit more house edge out that you just don't need. You're squeezing people even harder for no reason whatsoever. Another one, and this one is a little bit more subtle. A lot of players think that $25 is the point where the 4 and 10 become a buy. Why is that? Because that's what they've pretty much been conditioned by the Strip casinos, bigger places, or places that have a captive audience. When you're outside of Vegas, you know, a lot of times if you go to, say, a tribal casino that has craps, I don't know how many of them do, there might not be another casino within a 4 or 5 hour drive. So they know they have a captive audience. So they don't need to offer the same kinds of things that places out here do. So 4 and 10 may not become a buy until a quarter. So a lot of people will have, say, a $10 10 if they're on a $10 table. The 10 rolls and they'll say buy it. What they mean is going to a quarter. But there's a lot of places out here where the dealer might say, a lot of places off the strip, where the dealer might say, it's already a buy, what do you want to go to? Or if it is a buy at $10 or $15 or whatever, the dealer, a good dealer, will inform them and ask them. Because if it's a buy at 15 and the player says buy it, if you just immediately bump them up to a quarter because you assume that's what they mean, you're not necessarily doing what they asked. It becomes a buy at a different area. So we definitely always want to clarify so the player gets the bet that they want. But a lot of places off strip becomes a buy at $10, $15, $20. Even on the strip, there's quite a few places where it's a buy at $20 instead of $25. Right? And that's just that little bit extra of, little extra thing to try and draw people in. And the other one that you're going to see, and this one is not as big a deal, but a lot of people are under the false impression that it is. Let's say $10. Well, I'm not going to do a $10 table. Let's say a $25 table, so we fall more in line with the strip. All right? And actually, no, there it is. Now let's say the point is an 8. Okay. 3, 4, 5 odds. Find that on the strip a lot. So you're looking at $125 max odds, right? Which would pay $150. Okay, every 5 pays 6. That's 5 $25 chips. So you get 6 $25 chips. You go off the strip. On the strip, there's a few places, a very few places with 10 times, 20 times, even 100 times, but pretty rare. You go off the strip, and that's where you tend to find the 10 times, the 20 times, stuff like that, versus the 3, 4, 5. Even a few places that have old school double odds instead of 3, 4, 5, much less 10 times, 20 times. But now here's the thing: some people get really bent out of shape about this, and it truly, truly, truly makes no sense. Let's look at the 10. Okay, so 3, 4, 5 odds would mean that this player could do $75 on that bet, right? Now, let's say you got one of those players that's complaining like, it should be 10 times odds. I can't be able to cheapskate. It should be 10 times odds. Okay, well, let's think about this. 10 times odds will allow them to do $250, right? Which would mean that they would win $500 in the back and $25 up front, okay? If they were doing that. So if they were allowed to do 10 times odds, they would win $525, right? If they wanted to do 250 odds. Well, if they're 3, 4, 5, they're complaining it should be 10 times. Well, 75 versus 250 means that there's another 175, right? So let's say they place it. Let's say they place that. Okay, so let's look at what they would get paid. They would get paid $150 there for their odds. They would get paid $25 right there. Okay, they would get paid $341 for that bet right there. Okay, for that place bet, because it pays double, right? So 200 plus 150. Okay, that's 350. Minus the vig, which would be a $9 vig. So they would get paid $341 for that place bet. So this right here, they have the same amount bet as this player. Under 3, 4, 5 odds, they have the same dollar amount bet as if they had 10 times odds, right? So let's take a look. 10 times odds, they would have won $525. $516. It's a $9 difference. It's a $9 difference. And generally, these people that are crying about it don't play max odds. They wouldn't play 10 times odds. They're crying about it, but they generally don't even max out at 3, 4, 5. So it really cracks me up because there's very, very little difference between it if you place it. Next would be side bets. Some strip casinos don't have side bets. And some off-strip casinos don't have side bets either. Side bets slow the game down. So if there's no side bets all tall, all small, repeater, replay, Firebet. The game, as long as they have decent dealers, the game is going to go a lot faster. So the side bets slow the game down. But off the strip, you can come across, and I've come across this many times, you can come across craps tables that have multiple side bets. I have seen a craps table that had a fire bet and an all tall, all small bet. I had somebody tell me about playing one time at a casino that had the fire bet and all tall, all small and a repeater bet all on the same layout. That must have been the most excruciatingly slow craps game in history, but they had 3 different side bets on there. On the strip, there are side bets, but there's likely only going to be one per table. And some casinos on the strip that have side bets don't have them on every table. Again, it slows the game down. Right? And of course, the obvious big difference between the strip and off the strip, higher limits. And I'm not necessarily meaning minimum bet, but also maximum bet. When you're off the strip, you can come into places that have a max bet of $500, $1,000, $2,000. When you're on the strip, like off the strip, you might find a place that has that, even if it's busy Friday and they have a table that's a $25 minimum bet, the table max might still only be $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, something like that. On the strip, you're more likely to find a table that has a $25 minimum bet with a $20,000 max bet. It's definitely possible out there. So, hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, at the very least, just plain fun. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye now. Thank you everybody for watching today's video, and as promised, a little bit more detail on things that we are working on. So again, we want to continue trying to expand the channel. We're really hoping to be able to add roulette as soon as possible, and then some video keno, video slots, stuff along those lines. Unfortunately, it ate up almost all of our cash, paying off all of our bills during the month of January while we were down. And now that the holidays have ended, YouTube's payouts have dropped significantly. So we're kind of treading water here as far as all that goes. Do have a lot of things we want to add, though. Not just those things, those additional games, and hopefully some carnival games and such like that. But the live streams. The biggest problem right now with the live streams is with 3 jobs combined between the 2 of us, 4 if I include the 20 to 30 hours a week I'm putting into the YouTube channel. It's very, very difficult for me to have a day and time that I can commit to doing the live stream every single week, because we also have our very young child to take care of. But I'm trying to figure that out. I'm thinking it's probably going to end up being on Monday nights or Tuesday afternoons, or possibly both. I intend to do at least one live stream exclusively for our patrons, and then another one on the YouTube channel. So possibly both days. We also have a few other things that we really want to attempt to move forward on. I'm just running into either time or skill set issues. I do want to eventually have a website going for us. I did used to program websites over a decade ago. A lot of things have changed, and I just don't have that time. And not a whole lot of knowledge on the current state of building websites, hosting what sites can host, and how to build up the e-commerce stuff. So if anybody has any skill sets along those lines and would like to answer some questions or just help us out, shoot us an email, sincitylivingLV@gmail.com. Also, I really hope to be able to start adding some exclusive stuff from Sin City Living, logoed shirts, hats. I'm looking to get custom dice made, even custom layouts made, although those would be pretty expensive. But I know zero about e-commerce and drop shipping and anything along those lines. So if you have any skill or knowledge in that area, please email me. I would love to ask you some questions and see if you can answer a few to help me figure out how to get that going. Same thing with designing our logos. I had some logos designed, very, very small logos, unfortunately, not big enough to blow up to put on T-shirts and stuff like that. And again, I know I know nothing about logo design, graphic design, any kind of websites that could do it. I literally know nothing. So if you have any skill or knowledge in that area also, please email me, and you're willing to answer some questions. please email me and let me know. I'll admit I don't even know where to start as far as asking some questions, but I'm sure I'll ask a few, and that'll trigger a few more, so on and so forth. So yeah, there's that, and of course we do hope to continue to improve our AV setup, but I am an AV moron, so also right there, if you have any skill sets or knowledge in that area, please email me, and are willing to answer some questions. Please email me and let me know. We would love to help. Otherwise, again, thank you everybody for watching, and we're very excited to continue bringing you our videos. Bye now.